have you seen that dragon? Because, he's had his bell rang. To me, that's a 20-minute red card.
Front five struggled in that match at the breakdown massively.
They're not at international level. He's tearing it up every time he comes on. We took their souls. Welcome back to Double Hit Rugby with myself, Rob, and my co-host, twin, Harry Boy.
This week we're going to go over what was a nail-biting weekend of rugby.
Probably one of the best Six Nations weekends I can remember.
We've been getting a lot of heat on some of our videos because it is impossible to predict these matches.
No idea.
And people are like trolling, and it's like, you predict it. You tell me what's going to happen in these matches, because it is amazing for the sport of rugby, but wow.
Who would have thought that Ireland would have hosed England like that?
Never.
Nobody would have thought. Who would have thought Wales would have just had this resurgency only against Scotland?
Yep.
I don't think anyone could.
No.
I think the only games you can predict right now is the French. Because the other four right now is just who knows. The other five teams is like who knows what's going on.
But what a weekend. So we'll jump in. Firstly, we were down in Cardiff, and just want to start by saying, like, what a rugby experience that is. For anyone out there wanting a proper rugby weekend, go to the Cardiff away game. Everything about it is just, other than getting there.
Oh my God.
Other than getting there, everything
Strange,
about the rugby experience in Cardiff is exceptional.
Do you think, I wonder if we get it the kind of best because we're a competitive game for Wales, because apparently the French, there was only 56,000 there, the atmosphere was dead, whereas that game at the weekend, the atmosphere was the best rugby atmosphere I've ever had.
I wonder how many Scotland fans went down for it. But firstly, a massive shout out to the spectacle that Welsh Rugby put on.
Oh, brilliant.
The pre-match, the way the teams came out.
Oh, so good.
The half-time show.
Amazing.
And just like being under the roof is amazing. And what probably the best rugby match I've ever been to. And I said that last weekend after the Calcutta
And we
Cup.
said that when we went to Cardiff 2 years ago as well. I think, see, when the Welsh get behind their team, that because you're under that roof, it is deafening, man.
And one thing I would say is, no matter where you're sitting in the Principality, we were like third tier near the back of it, but you've still got a great view because you're basically on top of the pitch.
It's great.
It's just such a...
But you surprisingly have leg room.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. Murrayfield's cramped.
Yeah.
Whereas there, you've got good leg room in front of you, good gap to...
Because you're almost like sitting behind somebody.
It's actually really good.
So
imagine we had a stadium like that.
Oh,
Scotland had a roof.
Murrayfield's amazing because the footprint it has, and it can squeeze all these bars and entertainment things into, which the Principality doesn't have. But it is in the town centre of Cardiff.
But then you're just, when you leave the stadium, everywhere is just it's too busy.
Cardiff struggles to absorb that many people.
You'd be unless you pre-book something, you're not.
We can't pre-book.
No, it's a nightmare.
We try to do it, but anyway, we'll get into the match. Firstly, well done to Wales. They fronted up massively, and they obviously target that match with a mixture of it being Steve Tandy's old team, and that was the game that they were probably wanting to win.
They must have had Scott Quinnell in the changing room. Have you seen that dragon? Because Jesus, they fucking saw it that day.
The dragon came out.
Man, they did. The physicality they brought in. See, when you just think about rugby, so often it just boils down to physicality. And you look at the Welsh boys were dominating us in the first half, dominating. And then the second half, is it a surprise the turning point is that we start getting ahead with physicality. Rory Darge apparently lost his shit in the changing room with them, saying these are too soft, we're getting smashed backwards here. And Rory went out there and put his fucking body on the line, and he really did.
One thing I was going to say, in that first half, it looked like we just couldn't win a breakdown, and we couldn't win a line out, and it just shows that we really were missing Jack Dempsey and Jamie Ritchie. And the physicality those two bring, we were really missing that.
I think though, when you put the edge on it and the physicality we showed against England last week, injuries are just bound
to lose bodies.
Because it's the mad thing about rugby. They've went to the well 3 weeks in a row and they're getting a well-earned rest. But rugby sometimes just boils down to who is going to smash the other one.
And we, at half time, we were down, was it 20-5 or 17-5? We were down at half time. Or what was it? 17-5.
We might be wrong with that.
But we were quite a few pints deep. But I remember we just had, it was 17-5, but we were having a conversation where like, we've seen this movie before.
No, that was when they were 25 down.
But even at half time, we were having this chat. We've seen this movie before. Scotland don't come back from this. We don't win these matches. And the turning point genuinely was that moment of absolute genius by Finn Russell.
Yeah.
He got the try before it, but that drop kick to Darcy Graham was genuinely one of the best moments of rugby I've ever witnessed.
I think the only thing that Finn's ever done that you would be like, wow, that would go above that would be the pass in 2018, because watching that live, no one saw it coming. Nobody. And then we were like just looking up the pitch and it was like, oh, they're going quick. And then the kick's been done. Darcy's put it down in the corner and you could tell by Darcy Graham and Sione's reaction after it. It was like, they mean business now.
Getting on to Sione, whenever he absolutely smashed Lewis Rees-Zammit as well. These are the small turning points where I was watching it, I was like, we could win this. And see, when it got to the 70th minute, I was like, we're going to win this, because Wales just their arse fell out.
They did.
Their bench didn't have what they
didn't have the impact. They don't have the winning culture, the mentality of winning recently. I mean, we don't really either. But I guess like they just didn't know how to find that bit at the end and get that win. Obviously, we're going to be talking about the Matt Fagerson joining the Maul ahead of the ball carrier, which for that George Turner try at the end. But I'm also like, see if it's not constantly refereed, what's the fucking problem?
Apparently it doesn't get called anymore. But then we got refereed out the match the first 60 minutes or something. It just seemed like I've seen some of the replays of some of the breakdown calls that we got put against us. So rugby is all about momentum swings, and sometimes the referee rides whoever's got the momentum. And also,
I said this in my review video, I mean, that hit on Gregor Brown, to me that's a 20-minute red card.
It was pretty horrific, and I didn't see while we were at the match, but apparently Gregor Brown just wasn't the same after that moment. So you can't tell me you're getting hit like that. You've not.
He's
had his bell rang.
And that's exactly it. You know, he's had his bell rang. We've had our bells rang before, and it really knocks you sideways
for hours. You know?
And it does. And it was probably the same as Sam Underhill last week. Got his bell rang, and then that's it.
Not the same.
But you can't tell me that's just a yellow card. Mm-hmm. It's a shoulder charge to the face.
Yep.
Yes, he's fallen into you, but you're still he stood upright.
No
attempt at wrapping, no attempt to change his height. To me, that's it. So referee decisions, you win some, you lose some. Mm-hmm. And this Maul one, the joining ahead of Maul, so overcomplicated.
Yeah.
Who cares? It's a Maul.
At the end of the day, they didn't stop the Maul, so does it really matter if Matt Fagerson joined behind the ball? It was still the same pressure and momentum on it.
Rory Darge obviously got pulled back for what looked like a try like 10 seconds before it.
Was that because Mark Carley didn't start his watch? That is ridiculous.
So again, we can sit and talk about refereeing decisions. If that one got pinged, we'd be looking back at that one where the quick line out got pulled back and been saying, well, we got shafted there. This just happens with rugby. And I guess when you've got the referees who are so influential in how the game goes, this is just going to happen in a really complicated sport.
Onto a few, the full team did struggle, but there were some standout. Other than our front five really have struggled, I feel like, the Six Nations. Other than against England, they fronted up, but I think Gregor Brown dropping to the back row has really weakened our front five. We actually really need Gregor Brown back in there. We've already talked about who could be coming in and who should be coming in, but the front five struggled in that match at the breakdown massively. A really surprising one for me who didn't play very well and had a few errors and was Hugh Jones. He's usually solid as safe as houses.
That ball he dropped in the line for Doohan, passing it through, and
Cheslin Colby's not dropping that.
I don't think Darcy Graham's dropping that.
Well, after the bounce that he took, but it was a shame because that could have been a turning point in the match.
He'd have caught it against England.
I know.
That's the thing. So we just lacked that same Wales were good, but we were pretty shit.
Yeah.
And so you just wonder, see the amount of emotional effort that they put into that victory against England. What does that take out of them when it's, 7 days later, you got to go back to the well?
Yeah.
But
let's just say the fallow week's coming at a good time.
thank God.
Another one. I know we've criticised him before, but Duhan van der Merwe doesn't offer anything at the international level. He took one high ball that I saw, and he didn't jump for it. It was there. He took it.
Not contended.
I just don't feel like he offered anything, and as soon as Darcy came on, Darcy made an impact in that match.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, at this level, in these tough games and competitive matches, you need to be offering something. You cannot be stagnant in any position.
We also need 23 players.
We do.
And Duhan is almost kind of getting to the point it's a wasted spot just now, because you think Kyle Rowe, good in the air, brilliant playmaker. I know people are fans of Ollie Smith, and same kind of player. I personally think Kyle Rowe is just more proven at international level.
Agreed.
But you're thinking he's taking up that spot. Like, surely you'd want someone like Kyle Rowe or an Ollie Smith in there. I think Darcy, oh my God, he's been so outrageously good off the bench. Do you keep him on the bench and you start someone else? But before we move on from that, it was interesting at 35 minutes, Max Williamson and Nathan McBeth getting pulled off. They're not at international level.
Feel bad because Max Williamson was showing so much potential, but since he's came back from his injury, he's not been the same player.
2 years ago, we were like, he's the next thing.
I know.
He's the shit. He's massive. He can hit hard, but he just doesn't look aggressive, man.
No.
You want them being like Joe McCarthy, pure flinging your weight about, being aggressive, being that enforcer. We're lacking that.
Yeah.
And Max Williamson, you're like, he could be that, but see if you're getting yanked off after 35.
It's not looking good.
So we're struggling in that tight five. There's an argument to be made that we start Elliot Miller-Kills, because he's tearing it up every time he comes on.
Whenever he came on, one of the scrum penalties was because of him. So he absolutely scrummed the shit out of Wales.
What a shout. We're struggling at that Lucid spot, because Schumann's obviously, he's going well, but who's his back? I mean, I'm so surprised Rory Sutherland's not.
He's not even getting a look.
He's not even getting a look. Yeah, no. I think he might this week. You can, and again, obviously we're massive Glasgow fans, but Rory Sutherland's a better player than Nathan McBeth.
Yeah.
So
he's also more reliable in the scrum.
I'm surprised that Nathan McBeth has been playing the last 2 weeks. We're struggling in that tight five, and I think next game for France, Gregor Brown has to go back to second row. I don't really know what you do with the front row. I'm going to leave that up to Gregor, surprisingly.
Or people that have a fucking clue what they're talking about.
Back row, Matt Fagerson, Darge, a Bayliss or a
Christie.
Andy Christie comes in, but Bayliss was phenomenal.
I'll tell you, Freddie Douglas would have been so helpful.
I think we need him with his nose at the breakdown. Yep. So he might need to be a player that comes in.
Yeah.
But Josh Bayliss, man, I can't believe the wheels on him.
So fast. He took the ball on the outside, and I was like, is that King? Oh, it's Bayliss.
But I love how he runs with the ball in two hands, but he's fucking lightning. It's brilliant.
Bringing on to Kinghorn, actually played pretty solid. I think he anchored the defence pretty well. He was out of position for one of the tries, I think.
Aye.
But he is just that out and out 15.
He is that out and out 15. I just feel like he's quite soft in defence, like his physicality, whereas you look at Tom Jordan, he bangs.
Solid.
He bangs, man.
They're like,
let him bang, bro.
Let me bang.
Probably no one will get that reference.
I remember, the way I would look at it is Kinghorn's more of a technical sort of player. He's more technically solid than TJ, but TJ's got the physicality. Yeah. I think TJ's a good option coming off the bench, because he made an impact when he came on.
And being like, but you think about Horny, everyone is going to be shouting for George Horn to start, but he is looking like probably one of the best impact players you can bring on.
Man.
I think he's too good. He's too good to come on. His energy is outrageous. I would be keeping George Horn on the bench and being like, you are essential to us seeing out a game here.
It seems like he's content in that role as well, because his energy is just fucking
Ben White's
ridiculous.
not, because Ben White's going to be, you can't not have Ben White in the 23 now that Dobie's injured.
Yeah.
So there's no way you're going to say to Ben White, come off the bench and offer the same energy. No one does the energy the same way as Horn. So I think that Horn needs to be coming off the bench, probably with a TJ and then maybe a Kyle Rowe.
Yeah. I think looking forward, we've obviously got the fallow week this week. France is going to be a real test.
Aye.
But I'm going to call it right now. And we haven't called one thing right. We can win this game.
We
have to play the same way as England though. And the problem is when you play like that, guys are going to get they're going to get smashed up.
France is a hard one because if we play the same, we actually want it to turn into a disgusting day.
Yeah.
Because the backs for France,
they rely on that.
But their transition, their take their balls in the air, picking up the scraps the way they do. I mean, that Italy game, they just, when they get turnover ball, it's lights out.
Yeah.
So we can't have that happen and we can't give them turnover ball.
No.
Whether that's a loss at the breakdown, whether it's a knock on, whatever it is, we cannot allow them to get turnover ball.
We've also relied quite heavily on Finn Russell the last two games, having moments of magic and stuff, and hopefully he can bring that into France, but we're going to have to front up, and the problem is France have this depth that it's going to be tough. It's going to be a tough game.
It's going to be an outrageously tough game, and I guess we'll talk about it a lot more next week. But right now, people, it's interesting when you listen to the podcast. This is Tuesday, we're releasing this. So I've listened to the Rugby Pod. Jim Hamilton is very saying that it's not a good enough performance for Scotland.
Against Wales.
Like, that's not, but I'm like, right, it's a win. I don't buy into that much.
It's a win away at the Principality against a Wales team that would have been targeting that match against our coach's old team.
Steve Tandy was with Scotland for 6 years.
Sorry, Greg.
He knows those players inside out. He knows exactly how to defend in a game plan that can nullify everything we do. He's only just left.
Scotland
2 wins is not good enough.
Games like that.
Nah.
But we came back and we won.
So I think it's actually been a positive for me.
Sorry again, Gregor.
Hi. Sorry, Gregor. We love you, Gregor.
I know, but it's just...
it's not, mate. It's not out of the woods, man. Because if we lose the next 2 games, then it's like, right, it's not good enough. 2 wins is not good enough. We need to go.
For this to be successful for Scotland, we need to win one out of these 2.
That's for Gregor to justify his contract at the end of the World Cup.
Mm-hmm. But we need to win one of these 2.
If we don't win one of these 2 games, it's not good enough. It just simply is not good enough.
We won ugly against Wales, and let's hope we're able to carry some form of momentum into France. Yeah. But it's going to be a tasty anyway, because we're not going to roll over.
Nah.
We will not roll over.
I think we'll give them a game.
And this is an important thing. We'll talk about it more next week. France haven't been tested yet.
Nah, not at all.
So we always compete with France.
Yeah.
So you heard it here first.
Happens.
Yeah.
I think we need to figure out that back row, but the fallow week has came at the best time. But also for me, because I'm always the one do 3 weeks in a row for it, drop a fallow week. But man, it's hard doing it 3 weeks in a row.
I'm absolutely drained.
I'm scunnered.
I just want to eat broccoli,
steak and broccoli.
Get to the gym, man. Right, we'll touch on we'll go into the England game then. Next.
Wild.
Right, was it wild, or was obviously the predominant rugby media is mostly English? And we've just listened to the English media hype train so much to think that they're a lot better. The best person that I've heard say anything about Ireland was Tom English, basically saying that we're overestimating and going on a bit about their decline. They've literally just went from being world beaters to beating everyone except from France, New Zealand, and South Africa. So Ireland's decline probably isn't actually as big as what has been made out, and that's probably from the English media. So,
but England also are
overhyped,
and we took their souls. And I'm sorry, I said that to you on Saturday after the game, so it's not like I'm taking that from anywhere. But I think we sucked the life out of that England team, but also showed a blueprint to how to beat them, because the Irish did this very similar thing to us. That outside 13 channel, and then in the fringes, just dismantled it.
I don't understand why he's still playing George Ford and why they just don't change their tactics at all.
Such an embarrassment of riches and players, and they just don't pick them. Like, I find it wild that Henry Pollock is at 8, but then Steve Borthwick let Zach Mercer go back to France.
Or the Willis brothers.
The Willis brothers and they are humongous men.
Aye.
And they are dominant at that 8 position, especially Jack. So why you don't have them throwing money at them to play there? But Zach Mercer, he's like a better version, skillful version, probably quite a similar player as Henry Pollock, but he's tried and tested for years, and they let him go. They brought him back saying, we'll get you in the plans, comes back, tears it up for Gloucester. This guy won the Player of the Year in the top 14. The top 14 Player of the Year, voted by the players, and then comes back to England, don't give him anything, he just goes back to France. It's wild.
You got to feel for Henry Pollock a wee bit, man. I know he's got like a bit of an ego and he's kind of the media hated guy right now.
But he wants this, man. He wants that villain. So see, when you start getting smoke, that's what happens, man. You got to take it.
If you're going to be like that, you need to back up your bull. And unfortunately, he's not been able to back it up, and it's a lot. He's getting a lot of backlash. I think there's going to be a lot of changes.
Yeah.
You look at that, what McCluskey done that game. What a unbelievable, brilliant player.
Probably one of the best cover tackles I've ever seen. But you'd have thought, again, weird. You'd have thought Marcus Smith would be faster than that.
Him, yeah.
And McCluskey's like 6'5".
Something's went on there.
And he's like, he's a big boy.
The way he manhandled him out into Dutch.
That's like, talking about taking souls, man. He took his soul. Because he absolutely nailed him into touch.
It was brilliant, man.
But you'd have thought Marcus Smith, you'd have think he's one of the fastest players in that team. Like, clearly not, man.
Nah, obviously not.
Aye.
But good on them. Good on Ireland. Proving all the naysayers wrong and showing a bit of form, and again, it doesn't look very good for us. Our next 2 games are against the 2 best teams, and
then you think England's next 2 games as well, they could lose both their next 2 games.
They could lose both games.
So
Italy away is going to be very spicy to watch for England. I'm actually going to be watching that game with a lot of interest. I think Italy could do some damage. Think of the passion that they showed against us.
It's worrying. Italy could be going for 3 out of 5 here. And then we'd be in 4th.
Oh, mate.
If we lost our next 2 games, and Italy won their next 2, because they're playing England at home, then Wales away, they could win 3 games,
or they could only win 1,
or they could only win 1. I think they're definitely winning one of those games.
Oh, they've got to win 1.
So you're thinking, if we don't get a win here, we would be looking at 4th again.
But I think we'll finish ahead of Italy no matter what because of the bonus points, unless we lose the next 2 and they win
the next 2.
Going on to Italy, France just look like they're head and shoulders above everyone right now.
Aye, they do.
You really would just love to see France play South Africa.
Oh man, that'd be unreal. I just think, but then I think South Africa are in a different stratosphere to all other teams right now.
Yeah.
I think that French team, once they get some more time together, if they win this Six Nations, I think they'll be unstoppable, man. They're obviously like eyeing up that the World Cup next year, and
it's looking interesting as well, this Nations Championship in the autumn as well, and that's going to be really interesting to see these teams play.
I feel for Fiji, man, because that game's at Murrayfield. It's class for us because I love a summer game at Murrayfield, but I do feel for Fiji having to do that.
I know, but some of the stories you hear around the lads going to Fiji, it just doesn't sound like they're set up to be able to host.
Then that's just like, how are you supposed to grow the game if you're not?
Well, I think step 1 of growing the game for them is just getting these matches.
But I mean, it's obviously they're getting a huge financial gain from it being this way round. But I'm also like, it's not great for Fiji have no home games.
I think
it's a problem. How are you supposed to improve it?
This goes above rugby. I feel like it's more of a political.
But how are you supposed to improve Fijian rugby if they're not playing at home? It's not good enough.
Kind of what my point is. I think that, I mean, you look at their home stadium. It's like a hill.
To me, that's like, that should just be common. But how are they supposed to improve on that if they don't start getting games there and getting the experience of like, this is what works? To me, I'm like, I think they've said, no, we don't like these conditions of when we're playing there. You hear about Scotland were there in the summer and they all got food poisoning and all that stuff. But that's just part and parcel of what has to come with it. It's not fair. It's just ultimately, to me, it's not fair that Fiji have to play all their games away from home.
Yeah.
That's just bullshit to me.
A weird one, not a weird one, but an exciting one to go see is England playing Fiji in that new Everton stadium, because that looks incredible. That stadium looks amazing.
That'd be awesome, actually.
Yeah, so
maybe a shout for us.
don't think I'll be allowed out the house for the next 2 months.
I know, that's cool. So we'll obviously Glasgow playing Connacht this weekend. URC's back. We'll maybe cover that next week.
Yeah, we'll cover that next week. Yeah, and next week we'll go through predictions for that weekend's week 4. So, but that's us, I think.
Sounds good. We've done this in relatively quiet mode because your wee girl's sleeping through
My
there.
daughter is sleeping next door, so thank you for coming round. And thank you for everyone who joined us this week. Again, as usual, if you'd like to join along with the conversation, like, subscribe and give us a comment and let us know what your thoughts are.
We'll catch you on the next one.
See ya.